Hi everyone, it's just Will here. I hope you're all enjoying Becca's Hen Do. I've been asked by Sharon to take part in the How Well Do You Know Your Fiance questionnaire, so good luck and I hope this goes well. Question 1, what 3 things would you save in a fire? So number 1, after much thought, would definitely be my PC and 3 monitors. I'm definitely a little bit of a nerd and I don't think I could survive too long without those. Quickly followed by my phone, and lastly Becca. Just kidding. Becca, I'd definitely save you first. Definitely. Top 2 romantic moments together. So we've done a lot of awesome stuff. We're very fortunate. I think the first one is quite cliche. So that would be the proposal in Singapore. We stayed in an amazing hotel. Had a 3-course meal on a cable car, and it was just one of the most awesome experiences we could have. I just remember us walking around the complex at the end of the cable car meal, just walking around about 15 times, just in shock, with no real idea of what to say to each other. We're both in a very euphoric state. I think the second time was much earlier in our relationship. It was a bit of a surprise. It was the top of the mark in San Francisco. Booked a window view, the top of San Francisco overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge, watching the sunset, with chocolate covered strawberries and champagne. Hopefully you got that one, darling. I hope so. Question 3, so what purchases am I currently considering? It's a bit of an interesting one. This morning you did send me a link to a doner kebab machine that you can have at home. I think that would be an absolute game changer, to be honest. To be able to get home after a long day at work or after a night out and be able to have a kebab would be something very special. Next question. Of all the ways there are to die, which do I fear the least? I think a lot of people know this one. I'd have to say a plane crash. I'm hoping that isn't for a long time if that was to happen, but I definitely watch a lot of air crash investigation, an obscene amount, and I'd have to say that would be my my favourite way to die, if that is such a thing. How did I spend most of my summers as a teenager? Well, as some of you will know, I played a lot of cricket back in the day. I must have used the phrase "sorry, I'm playing cricket" multiple times during my teenage years, which caused a lot of frustration to a lot of people. Probably every weekend from April to September. More in my early teenage years, I'd say Football Manager as well. You can't beat taking Scunthorpe United to the Champions League in 4 seasons. It's just a personal highlight for me and something that will go on my CV for the rest of my life. Most embarrassing thing my partner has done. So I'm not sure if she'll appreciate me saying this, so I'll be careful what I say. I just remember a very exciting, very quiet evening in New Orleans. It's probably about 6 o'clock or so. We had a flight to Las Vegas booked the next day, about 6 a.m, probably about 4:30 or so. And us being loving a freebie, we found a voucher book at reception, where I think you could get quadruple vodka Red Bulls for about $2. Needless to say, by 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30, I'll give her the half an hour. We were dragged to basically carry her back home to the hotel. It's not really the funny part. The next morning, getting up at 3 a.m. to go and check in for this flight to Las Vegas. I'll never forget the image of Americans in the departure lounge flying to Las Vegas, so excited, so buzzing, we're going to Vegas, and my fiance-to-be just passed out on the floor, using her carrier bag to cover her eyes and just using her jacket, as a pillow. It was absolutely inspiring when you're surrounded by Americans shouting, "We're going to Vegas, we're going to Vegas." I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to look when you leave Vegas, not when you're departing and on the way to Vegas. But anyway, we laugh about it now, I'm sure. So top 2 fun moments together. So apart from the proposal, I'd say boogie boarding in Oceanside. We did that before actually a trip to Alaska, which was so much fun. It's one of those things you can't really do in the UK very often, and we seem to take to it quite well. So it's kind of the amateur version of surfing almost. Just incredible waves, and I think we must have done that for 3 or 4 hours, just laughing as we sort of ran into each other and went at not quite supersonic speeds, but pretty cool sort of speeds across the water. And then the second one is another sort of water-related activity. So it was in St Kitts. We did some jet skiing with like GoPro kind of camera, and just going really fast through the Caribbean water. It was just such a great time. I just really enjoyed that. It's one of the coolest things that we've done. So my top 3 favourite films. So for people that know me will know that films are definitely not my thing. I don't have a particularly long attention span, and it's not something that I would say I'm a particular enthusiast of. But number 1, probably Rebecca's least favourite film, so for me it's my favourite, is The Big Short. Secondly, Team America. I laugh every time. It is a very silly film, but it just gets me every time for whatever reason. And Borat, but don't say that to my American friends and family. Favourite holiday destination? Singapore. It's just one of the coolest, cleanest cities we've been, and of course we got engaged there, so it's a very special place for us, and hopefully we'll visit again in August on our honeymoon. Favourite colour? That would be orange, believe it or not. I was always quite a unique person, never blue or pink, just always had to be different, so went for orange. And I do like orange. I think it's a great colour, if that's a thing. Favourite meal? So I'd have to say the chicken katsu curry from Nudo. I mean, goodness gracious, I'm very fortunate to work about a 5-minute walk away from there, which is incredibly dangerous, because that meal is just something else. Favourite type of holiday? I think we're both agreed on this one. So no holiday is complete without a cruise. I think we've been on about 8 or 9 cruises now. We've got another one planned in a couple of weeks. People say it's for the plus 65. In part it probably is, but for us it's a great way to relax, see a lot of different places, and have a lot of fun. Just turn the page on here. So my favourite restaurant, I'd imagine a lot of people would say Fazenda, but Fazenda in Manchester, like an all-you-can-eat meat place. It's actually a restaurant in Amsterdam, which I still don't know the name of. We've been 4 or 5 times now. That doesn't mean we've been to Amsterdam 4 or 5 times. We just go every single night that we're in. Happen to be in Amsterdam, which says a lot for how good it is that we don't get bored of it. It's all you can eat, but you order through an iPad. So you can order up to 10 items every 8 minutes, and it's all very fancy sort of Chinese kind of food. And every time it just gets better and better. So yeah, definitely can't wait to go back to Amsterdam at some point to try it out again. So what was the best present that I've received from Rebecca? And this is very difficult because she's such a caring person. I've never ever met anyone in my life as caring or as thoughtful as she is. I'd have to say the 2 that stick out for me are the Las Vegas helicopter tour that she booked for me. She knows I have a thing for aviation, to such an extent that I'm happy to die through aviation. But anyway, she booked a Las Vegas helicopter tour at night when we were first sort of going out, sort of 2016 sort of time, which was absolutely incredible. It was like one of the coolest 15 minutes of my life. But then on the flip side, she was caring enough to think, after a really long trip across Asia, to book a spa day in Indonesia. So she paid for us to get a ferry across, go to this very cool part of Indonesia, and just sit in a spa for hours and hours and hours. It was incredible and so relaxing after an incredibly stressful trip, to say the least. stressful in terms of just lots going on. I don't think we very rarely have relaxing holidays. We're always doing stuff, but that's the way we love it. Favourite board game we play together. So this is I think she'll definitely get this one. So definitely Rummikub. I introduced her to that. Some of my David, one of my friends in the United States, plays it a lot. Nothing beats having a cocktail and a game of Rummikub, and we've just discovered that they do it at the bar local to us in Manchester, so I do get the feeling we're going to be back there quite often. And then the final one, when I was looking at all of the questions to choose, it just seemed appropriate for some reason. So who's the one to remove the spider from the room? I'm going to say me. I know when I was away, I've just been on my stag do to Las Vegas, and Rebecca had the awful task of trying to remove the spider. She did in fact kill the spider. Unfortunately, I removed the spider from the house, but unfortunately she couldn't take that risk, so rest in peace to the spider. But yeah, that's all the questions that I have. I hope you've all done really well. If not, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of the hen do, and we look forward to seeing you all at the wedding. So have a good evening, everyone.